welcome back to segment 2. Well, actually, welcome back to segment 2. We've just started segment 2, but welcome back to our broadcast. We're at Vikings training camp, Twin Cities Orthopedic Performance Center. I think the training camp is sponsored by Verizon, if I'm not mistaken. I'm the common man, Dan Cole, along with Atena B, the interim producer of the program. Excited and delighted to be joined by Vikings fullback C.J. Ham. C.J., thanks for joining us today. We appreciate that. How come you don't have your pads and your helmet on yet?
I don't sleep in those things.
Oh, okay.
I only wear those when it's asked, but we got practice in about an hour or so looking forward to it.
Will it be pads and helmets, or is it the shorts and the helmets? What are you doing today?
Sometimes you just don't really know until it's practice
time. Until you suit up.
So, yeah,
I get that. You're kind of a Cinderella story, right? I mean, you're undrafted. You're from Duluth, Denfeld, right? You went to high school at Denfeld?
Correct.
And you went to, was it a Division II school up in South Dakota?
Yep, Augustana University.
Yeah, I don't know how many NFL players went to a Division II or III school and then ended up in the NFL, but I don't think it's a lot. But you're
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen, we know that. But you are a testament to you can do it even if you don't go to Notre Dame or USC or Oklahoma or one of the big football schools.
For sure. I mean, with the NFL, it doesn't matter what school you go to. I mean, if you're good enough, they'll find you to give you an opportunity. Obviously, I think it's a little easier for guys at bigger schools to get opportunities because there's more eyes and it's closer to the NFL level. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't really matter where you play as long as if you're good enough, they will come and find you.
Tell me how the whole process went for you. You finish at school, you're undrafted. Do you start calling? Did you have an agent? Did they call? Did somebody call you and say, hey, we saw some film on you. We might want you to come to our camp as an undrafted? How did that whole situation start?
So after the season, there was a handful of teams that came during the season to do evals on me. So that was pretty cool. But after the season, I wasn't hearing much. I had to talk to a friend who had went through the process a handful of years beforehand, and he got me hooked up with an agent, and that started that whole process. And on draft day, obviously wasn't expecting to get drafted. At most, I wanted to be a undrafted free agent, get a call after the draft, but that didn't even happen. I didn't get called until Sunday when I was at church, and it was just for a tryout. The Vikings were the only team who called and offered me a tryout, and I just had to make the most of it.
And at the time, were you working as a Phi-Ed teacher? Is that what I saw? Or
I was student teaching. I was student teaching, finishing up the rest of my degree, and I had to take some time off of student teaching to come and do rookie minicamp.
And it was Phi-Ed, right?
Yes.
Will you tell me now how is my form on my jumping jacks? Tell me. What do you think of that? Is that good form? What do you think?
That's not bad.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
I'll give you that. I'll give you about an 8 out of 10 on that.
Well, I'm tired though. Wow. Do they work you as hard here as I just did right there? Because I just feel like I'm out of breath and I worked myself to nothing.
No, we definitely work hard out here. Training camp is training camp. It's a grind, but it's a fun grind. We go out here and get better as a team and have fun doing it.
So you get a call. Hey, so you're just ecstatic, right? You're just going, I can't believe it. Well, you can believe it, but you can't believe it. And all of a sudden, what'd you do? You just booked a flight and you went to Mankato? How did that all work out then from that point?
So, I was just in South Dakota. So they called and offered me a tryout, and, it's only a 3.5-hour drive.
Okay.
So I just drove up for the tryout, and after 3 days, they signed me to the 90-man roster, but I had to go back to school and finish. The rest of the rookies at that time stayed and finished OTAs, but I had to go back for another week and finish school.
Yeah, and the rest is history. Right here with the purple.
The rest is history. Came back to training camp.
And you were halfback, and you've transitioned to fullback, right? Is that correct?
Correct. I made the team first as a halfback.
Yeah. And was fullback because that's kind of the position they needed too, right? Or more, you just felt more suited to that, or they felt you were more suited to that position?
It wasn't up to me. It was, I initially thought the only way I'd make it to the league would be running back, and so just to make it at that was cool, and I was super excited about that. And then the next year, we drafted Dalvin, we brought in Latavius, and I'm sitting here like, I'm going to compete, but who knows what's going to happen. Right. And then that's when they called me and said, hey, we want to switch you to fullback. So it was just another opportunity for me to make the team.
Our guest is C.J. Ham, Vikings fullback. We're broadcasting live from Vikings training camp.
Talk about the offense change now with Kubiak coming in. Stefanski's the offensive coordinator. The layman's like Common and I might not know exactly what a zone blocking scheme is, and we kind of think of it as from an offensive lineman standpoint. But from a fullback, does that change how you have to block, who you're blocking, or does what the offensive line now doing, the changes they're making, does that not affect you at all, or do you have to kind of relearn the playbook yourself?
I mean, it's a totally new system. So we're all learning offensive line, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. We're all learning the system, and we pretty much got most of it in now. And I love this offense. The fullback is definitely present in this offense. So I'm going to get more opportunity, and it's got to make the most of those opportunities.
What have been your thoughts? I think we've all obviously seen Dalvin Cook play. Most of us haven't seen Alexander Madison, the third-round pick, play. What have you seen from him so far?
Great dude. Obviously a great person, but he was drafted in the third round for a reason. I mean, he was a steal of a draft, big, physical running back, and I think he's really going to help our team.
Do you, again, the fans. I think the team in general as well, but the fans are worried about the offensive line. Oh, the offensive line wasn't very good. They've, rookie center. Won the the Remington Trophy, whatever it is, for the best college center. Moved Elfline over. Got the Klein guy. I know it's so early. You haven't even played even a preseason game yet. But do you like what you've seen from the offensive line? Does it look like, hey, these guys could be cohesive and work together?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the word, cohesive. These guys have gone out here and really just shown that they can work together. Having Garrett is awesome. The dude doesn't seem like a rookie. He's very smart. He's very intelligent, and he loves football. And our whole offensive line as a collective group have put in a lot of effort and a lot of work to making sure they're all on the same page.
Because I have to think a running back. I mean, you can break tackles and make your own, and step into a maybe not a gaping hole, but a little bit of a there's a little bit of daylight, but you kind of only is really as good as your offensive line, right? If your offensive line can't open up some holes for it and give you an opportunity to slip through, it can be a grind back there, I would think.
Oh yeah, it definitely can be. We're as a unit, it's you can't. One person just can't have success. It has to be the whole unit having success, and our offensive line is going to help our pass game and our run game.
Now, you have family?
I do.
Yeah. You're married?
Married and have 2 kids.
Married and 2 children, huh?
Yeah.
Very cool. Good. How old are they?
3 years old and 8 months.
8 months and 3 years. So you're kept busy on the field and off the field.
Boys, girls?
Both girls.
Okay.
Yeah,
Both
I think I'm definitely more busy off the field than I am on the field.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like it's a must that you have to have a son, so you're going to keep trying? I mean, a lot of people do. I know it's probably a personal question, but like for me, I have 2 sons, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to, on my side of the family, I was able to carry on the family name. It's up to my boys now.
Yeah.
But I had my sons.
Yeah, I feel like every man wants a son.
Right.
And I definitely do. I definitely would like a son. If I get that opportunity to have a son, I'm going to be ecstatic. But at the same time, if I have 5 girls, then I'm just going to thank God for what I have and roll with it.
There you go. Tim, you got anything else?
I was just going to ask you, this time of the year, you're an undrafted free agent, so you've had to work for everything you've gotten.
Yep.
You play a position which, let's face it, it's not the same as it was 20 years ago. That the game has changed offensively. We can pass the ball a little bit more, and the fullback, maybe not as prevalent as it once was. Do you have anxiety at this time of the year every year that you feel like you have to earn your way on every single season?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say I have anxiety, but I know I have to come out here and earn my spot. It's nothing's ever guaranteed in this profession, and especially in the position that I'm in. There's not a lot of fullbacks in the league. I'm blessed and lucky that the system that we have has a fullback in it, so I have the opportunity to be great. But I definitely have to come out here and earn my spot every single training camp. At least that's my mindset.
Well, good luck to you. It's a great success story to this point. And say hi to your family for us. Give your kids hugs. And good luck to you the rest of the season.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. C.J. Ham. He is fullback for the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings. Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. We're broadcasting live back after this right here on The Fan.